We're live.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What you say is what you get. That's what we're going to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
What you say is what you get.
It's so true in so many different contexts. It really is. It's just so true. I am glad you decided to join us today. We look forward to hearing from you. We got a lot to talk about, and we will be right back in just a moment.
Somewhere. Good morning. My name is Brian McNeill.
And I am Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And thank you for joining us on our show, Let's Talk About It. We come to each Monday through Friday right here on the SIBN network, on iHeartRadio, YouTube, TuneIn, as well as Facebook Live. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Like. Morning. Good morning. Good morning. What you say is what you get. That is our topic of the day.
Is that Boom Harriet?
Boom, shakalaka.
Good morning, Harriet. Good morning, Miss Melissa Price. How you doing? Your makeup is out of this world gorgeous today, Mama Lisa. She's feeling your makeup, baby.
Ah, thank you.
So the topic is what you say is what you get. What are we talking about? First off, when I say something like that, where does your mind go? What do you think about when I say what you say is what you get? You know, and where our premise is what we say to ourselves and believe to ourselves is what we get.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I watched some Reverend Ike this morning. Y'all know Reverend Ike? Y'all know who Reverend Ike is? If you don't know who Reverend Ike is, look up REV space IKE on YouTube, and you'll be getting a bunch of stuff.
You might not be old though.
Miss Phyllis, you remember who Reverend Ike was, won't you, Miss Phyllis? And I'm not calling you anything about that. What is the eye color and lipstick? I need to know. Such a beautiful winter look. Oh, really? Are you gonna tell her?
Yeah. So it is. I don't know. Actually, both of them are combinations. So this is smoky black with a burgundy eyeshadow, and this is a burgundy lip liner with a fuchsia lip gloss that I got from Dollar Tree, and my black eyeshadow put on the corners of my mouth and blended in. So it's an ombre. It's a blend.
All of that. Okay. All right. Thank you. Are you good, Melissa? Are you good, Melissa?
Are you good?
Good morning, Miss Couture. How you doing? So we're talking today about what you say is what you get. You know, and Reverend Ike gave a wonderful illustration, and then Lisa and I had a great conversation about it.
Okay, Couture.
But he was talking about from the very beginning, the example in the book of Genesis. It's dark right now. And he says, let there be light, and the darkness ran away. Light was there. Okay? Let there be light. You wanted fish in the ocean? He says, let there be fish that swim in the oceans. He wanted animals. He wanted firmament. He wanted all that kind of stuff. He spoke it, and it was there. He spoke it, and it was. The thing, and he also says that we are we not gods? Can we not do the same? Can we not speak things, and then they appear? Now, all of you who have ever gotten a driver's license or a business or a wedding or anything, there are things that you spoke and decided to have and you ended up getting. Yep. You wanted an apartment, you ended up getting it. The things that we speak and believe, he even goes so far as to say, the things that we say and believe to ourselves is God's word to us. What we say and believe about ourselves. How you feel about that, Sister Katora?
Good morning, KT.
How you feel about that, Sister Phyllis?
What we say
is what we believe. And we took it, Lisa and I, we got into it this morning. We really, really took it there. You know, what we say, what we believe, what we say, what we believe. And we have a lot to do about how we believe things. And then we even went to the point about vibrating it and making it work. All of that stuff.
The energy associated with the experience of saying it. That's right, Reverend Ike and
him and Reverend Price was the only one of color we would see.
Yes, for a long time, for quite some time.
I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and Reverend Ike came on WOR Channel 9. I remember that. It was like either 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night. And we would flash through there. It was only 3 channels. So,
so you had to hit them at least once or twice. Couture said it definitely manifests. I think it definitely does. I think that what you say is what you get. And I think that's what makes it more important to manage what you say.
Yeah, it is. And as you were speaking it, and as I was just reading Couture there, you know, there are so many different doctrines that are kind of like that. Okay. There's a whole doctrine about whatever your current dominant thought is, you move towards. That's your current dominant thought. Whatever you're holding in, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills this month. That's your current dominant thought, and you're moving toward that. Is that Sister Judith Alvarez Miller? How you doing, my sister?
I remember that saying.
That's right. You can't lose with the stuff I use. That's Reverend Ike.
Yes.
He said, say it in a sassy way. You can't lose.
Good morning. And that was so important. So many of us don't realize that so much of this is not to take anything away from the New Age thinking. Nothing to take away from the New Age thinking. I think every generation deserves to relate with God in whatever way makes them comfortable. But I also believe that there is nothing new under the sun.
What you're doing now has already been done. My phone got hijacked this morning. They optimized on me. But
good morning, Dr. Deborah. And I mean, so
how can we use this real power?
So much of what is being said by some of the New Age spiritual practices, that you get to vibrate higher, and you gotta vibrate in the zone of what you're looking at. And then some of the teachers have taught us, you know, to use as many senses as possible when you are projecting for your manifestation. Like, you want to see it, smell it, hear it, taste it. That will increase the opportunity of it coming to you. But think about it in terms of what we talked about earlier. There were some things that were not explained to us that we were actually doing, and it was along those same lines. Think about it in church. That turn to your neighbor and say, that opportunity where repeat after me, those situations where
I am what God says I am. I can do what he says I can do. Why would he have you repeat that? Stand to your feet in reverence to the word of God.
Besides trying to keep you awake, right? Those things are bringing into inclusion as many senses as you can have. And I think that God even gives us that with the feeling of the anointing and the Spirit, that puts an extra oomph, if you want to call it, on the words that you're repeating and the things that you're saying. That feeling, the physical feeling of the Spirit. That's right, Miss Philly. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Amen. And we were told, stand up, say it with your chest, Kevin
Say
Hart.
it with your chest. There's something to be said about saying and believing and adding a feeling or an emotion or a physical act to it. Adding a physical act or an emotion or a feeling to
as many of the senses you can. Because, I mean, that's also why we have music. Music would help to travel you or translate you from one place to the next.
Doesn't it? Doesn't music take you somewhere?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
music is transportation, and so that brings into account another one of your senses, which is hearing. When they're trying to convince your memory to be engaged, there's a smell. The olfactory comes into play. If you think about real estate and the vanilla cookies.
That's right. If you're selling a home, you want to make some cookies when you're about to show the home, so that smell wafts through the house, or light some scented candles,
Put some
or have
potpourri
the
on the stove.
temperature way up so the house is kind of toasty warm, especially in the winter. And they walk from that cold into this involving more senses. Imagining.
That's right. Imagining, using your imagination to begin to see what it is that you're working for, working towards. What you laughing at, Couture?
Whenever I see leaving the thought imagination, I'm always going to all the examples that we've shared on this show and different places about how your subconscious mind can't really tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined. Okay, if you imagine it vividly enough, your subconscious mind will treat it as if it's true.
Good morning, Belinda. You are being quite regular. Is it the snow that's keeping you with us? We hope that you're just coming because
we gotta get her a song. We gotta get her a jam.
Absolutely.
Belinda, recommend a song that speaks to your spirit to us. Okay, Belinda or Belinda Houston or Miss Houston, something. We gotta get you a jam. Okay. His walking into the house with a song. Oh. That's right. What you say and believe about yourself is God's word to you.
Right.
What? You mean I can say it and believe it? Here's the other thing too. Belief. You can cause yourself to believe it by repeating it. Okay, often enough. By repeating a thing often enough, you'll come to believe it to be true. I'm the oldest of four. I have three younger sisters, and the one that's closest to me in age, she's a year and a half younger than me. Her name is Tracy, and my sister Valerie is 3 years younger than me, and my sister Stacy is 8 years younger than me. But we grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and in the 70s at the time, 70s and 80s. It was very important to be able to dance well. Okay, first it was like the hustle and all that kind of stuff, disco, but then it became to freestyling. Now, then freestyling name changed into breakdancing, okay? And I thought I was a really, really good dancer. And my sister...
You was a breakdancer?
I did. Freestyling, okay? It was freestyling then, and then it got to breakdancing, okay? I was a good dancer, and my sister Valerie was an amazing dancer. So we were the best two dancers in the house, Brian and Valerie, okay? And we kept telling my sister Tracy, you can't dance, because she didn't dance as good as us. Okay, Tracy can't dance, and that's all Tracy heard, that Tracy can't dance. And we kept saying it so much that my sister Tracy began to believe that she can't dance. Okay, and that wasn't the truth. But the truth was, we kept saying it, so she kept believing it. And I didn't know any better at the time. I was a kid, stupid, dumb. Okay, but I regret that, stuff I put on my sister just because I decided to say it, and she eventually accepted it.
I'm often reminded of the story that Billy Swinton told about his father.
Him shooting?
Yeah, with him shooting. Mm-hmm. You can tell it.
Sure. Billy Swinton's a great friend of ours. He's in his 40s now, but he's still a really, really good basketball player. He can still dunk. But when he was younger, he was really, really good, exceptional at basketball. And he broke his arm. Okay, he always thought he was left-handed. Okay, he shot the ball left-handed, and he broke his left arm. And he was wondering what he gonna do because he wanted to stay in shape, And his dad told him, "Well, you're right-handed anyway."
Casually,
you're right-handed.
Voice of authority. The power of the voice of authority. You need to hear that, parents. You need to hear that, wives. You need to hear that.
So all these years, Billy had a career playing left-handed. His dad said, "Well, you was right-handed anyway." And then it just struck it. And he's like, "Oh, wow, I can shoot right-handed. I'm naturally right-handed." He took it. And he started shooting right-handed, and while his arm healed all the way.
He believed it because it came from a position of authority. Good morning, George
How about
Allen.
that? So now, because he has spent so many years shooting left-handed, he has a great degree of ambidexterity. He can shoot either hand just as well. He developed his left hand. He thought that was the case. Good morning, sister. Brother George Allen, aka Chef Rev. We're happy to have you here. The topic today is what you say you can get.
Is what you get.
Is what you get. Excuse me. What you say is what you get. Yeah, that's an amazing story. Real life example. Belinda says, I'll always be family no matter what. If y'all call on me, y'all know I'm on way to support. Tis true. Tis true, Belinda. We believe you, family. We know you, family, and you always do. That's why we so easy to support you back. We support all her stuff. We've been to her like a ton of her stuff because she's who she is. She's a quality person that we want to be in support of, and she's consistent in her mission. She's a giver and a doer.
Absolutely.
Yep. What you say is what you get.
But I still like. I don't think people understand the importance of the words that you put into the atmosphere. I don't think that we understand the importance and the power of those words, particularly if you're a person of authority. Meaning, when I say a person of authority, we all have authority in our children's lives. We have authority in many of our colleagues and many of our coworkers and our friends, but some of it we don't realize the power of it. Dr. Deborah says, when we were kids as siblings, we used to play scare yourself just for fun, and it works. But I realize today that same thing happens when we operate in fear. We can scare ourselves out of doing something.
Amen. You certainly can. You can scare yourselves out of doing something.
Yeah, I think I've scared myself out of driving.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to fix that.
I agree.
Lisa has scared, this is a very, very transparent moment. She has scared herself out of driving where she don't want to drive at all. Okay, now she used to drive when I first met her. She drove up until maybe a month ago. Okay, but in the last month, she has scared herself from driving. She's nervous in the car, even so it's causing me to drive all the time now. We just went to Hilton Head, 4 hours there, 4 hours back. Now, typically, she's not going to drive much, even if she's not scared. Okay, but she'll do her hour. She'll do her hour. You can count on Lisa doing her hour.
And it was not me trying to take advantage of the fact that, well, if I say I can't drive, then
I didn't think you was.
I'm that's what I'm saying.
I thought you was genuinely.
I was genuinely
uncomfortable.
Concerned. Genuinely uncomfortable. Absolutely.
Yes, Sister Couture, spouse to spouse as well.
Absolutely.
Lisa started a statement a moment ago. She said, I don't think people really understand the power of what they put in the atmosphere is. And the reason why, I suspect the reason why you said that is because if we really understood the power, we'd be much more judicious in what we say. Mr. Perry Walker, you know who Perry Walker is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and do it, baby. Can you do it?
No.
Your impression of him?
Yes. Mr. McNeill.
That's it. Mr. Perry Walker is an amazing CPA and accountant, and he helps people with taxes year round. But he has a way of saying my name unlike anybody else. And he'll hold me accountable too. Even though he hired me, but still he wants stuff where he wants it. And he's polite, but he has an authoritative way of saying, Mr. McNeill.
Oh, we love it.
Perry, man, I miss you, brother. How you doing?
We miss you. I think it's been 2018, maybe.
I don't know, but no one says Mr. McNeill like Mr. Perry Walker. Scroll
Absolutely.
down,
Good morning, Dr. Beverly. She says, good morning. Finally, Facebook contacted me because my great friends keep reporting that there's someone on Facebook pretending to be me. So they reached out to me on this morning on my new page and asked me to explain. I just wanted to say thank you all for calling me first, because the majority of people on both of my pages either know me personally, family went to school together, or we may have been in business with each other, and everybody has my phone number. It has not changed in 30 years, and um they are finally
going to do something about this girl and her partner.
Yeah.
It happens on Facebook. It happens to everybody too.
Couture said you had trauma somewhere to cause that anxiety. Well, some of it had to do with my vision. Many of you know I've been having a lot of challenges with my vision. I am legally blind, but usually it can be corrected with lenses still, but it continues to get worse. And so recently my prescription changed. They didn't get it right initially, and there was some concern, and I think that carried over into my driving. Good morning, Crystal
Blake. Good morning, Crystal Blake. She says, good morning. I'm late, but this is good. It's crazy how God works. I was thinking about my fears this morning and how to work through them. Okay, I'm glad you said that, because Sister Crystal Blake, we got all these amazing people in here, not just Lisa and I. She said she was thinking about her fears this morning and how to work through them. How do you suggest helping our sister Crystal Blake work through her fears? I got my thoughts, but I want yours too. How do you suggest Crystal work through her fears, especially in light of our topic today of what you say is what you get?
Yes, Dr. Beverly, that's hilarious. She said, Lisa, you had trouble with your vision because you see so far into the future. You got to slow down, girl.
Probably so. Oh, okay. That's what Sister Couture says. I'm gonna let's start off helping Crystal. Okay, how to work through her fears. Okay, one way to work through your fears. There's several ways I know. Is to first write down that thing that you believe you fear. Okay, and then you could prove all the examples of why that's not true. You challenge that fear. Okay, I can't speak in public. Okay, let's say that's your fear. Or I can't drive, since we talked about that. Well, the truth is, yes, you can drive. You've driven before. You have a valid driver's license. You've gone to go pick up your grandson before. Yes, but I'm nervous to drive. Yes, but you can be nervous and still drive. Matter of fact, this Friday, you got to go pick him up again, and there's no one else to do it. So you know you're going to have to do it. So it's not true that you can't drive. Okay, even if you're afraid of it, you still can do it. So you can challenge the fear. That's one way. Tony Robbins says, say the thing you fear, and then he says, say it in a funny voice, and then like a cartoon voice. I'm afraid to drive. I'm afraid to drive. I'm afraid to drive. Right? And then change different volumes to just like upset the record is basically what he's trying to do. Upset the recording of it. Make it sound different.
Perry said, did not expect that, Mr. McNeill.
Still love you though. I love you too, man. But me and my wife heard you say it a few times, and that's stuck.
Mr. McNeill.
No one says it like you, bro. Oh my goodness. But it's happy to have you. So Perry and Dr. Beverly and Couture, how do you suggest helping our sister Crystal work through her fears? I just made one suggestion. You might have a different one.
Well, to be quite honest, I was working through some fears, if you will, with the Best You in 2022, the Jumpstart. We started on December the 10th, and we haven't stopped yet. Actually, every morning, God gives me a scripture and a prayer that we send out. We meditate on it and we think about it. We are now on
whatever the 10th was till now.
Yeah, the 10th to the 31st was 21 days to 2022.
So 17 more days to that.
And then 17 more
38.
days to that. Yeah, so we're almost on day 40. And it was reminding myself that was the biggest part of dealing with some of those lower vibrations of fear and worry, was reminding myself first of what the scripture said, and then of what experience had said.
Okay.
So first what God said, and then what actually happened. Couture says she's afraid of heights, yet I still hike to the top of mountains and deal with it once I get to the top. I continue to push through it. Oh, Whew, I don't deal with heights very much. I'm not afraid
but
of
the
them.
last line, I continue to push through it though. There's something amazing happens when you push through it. You just keep going right through it. I liken that, Katura. So when you, and if you guys drive on the highway, you've seen this happen in your lifetime, I'm sure. You're driving on the highway and it's not raining on you, but you can see inclement weather ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the rain up there. You can see before you get to it, there's a storm up there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to get to this place. I'm trying to go to Atlanta or whatever I'm driving to. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a choice to make. Okay. You see the storm ahead. Let's say it's a heavy one, really heavy one. You could drive into that storm, and because it's so heavy, you could decide to pull over and wait the storm out. That's one thing you could do. Or you can continue driving, because just like you drove into that storm, you can keep driving, even drive slower, all the way out of the storm. And have you had that dynamic where you drove into a storm and then you just kept driving and you drove yourself out of that storm? To me, that's like pushing through, that you're getting out of it by just continuing moving.
Dr. Deborah says exposure can help you through your fears. Do a little of it each day and get as close as you can until you're doing
it. I like it. Inch by inch, anything is a cinch, right? Inch by inch, anything is a cinch.
Mm-hmm. Ladies, we certainly hope to hear your opinions. We love reading your opinions. We love reading your testimonies and talking about how you're making it through, but we would love to hear them from you. Tonight is Women Empowerment Network, and we would love to actually hear firsthand from you what you've accomplished so far in the new year, what we can celebrate you for, and just how we can support one another in this process.
Tonight at 7.
You can be with us tonight at 7 o'clock. You can simply go to womenempowermentnetworks.com to register, womenempowermentnetworks.com, or you can inbox me and I'll give you the link. But it's at 7 p.m. and we would love to see you in attendance.
They do that meeting via Zoom. That way everybody in their own box, you can see each other and y'all can have a conversation. Other. That's right. Now, at the same time, Male Empowerment Networks, which has been going on since August of 2013, we do it virtually at 7 p.m. We'll all be in our rooms, and I'll be in my room, private. And men, because men need men. I will tell you, in the 8 years that we've been doing this thing, it's been amazing, but it's never been better than now. I got a group now, man, that we get it in. Men, we talk in a transparent way. We hear each other out and we help each other. The last few have been some of the favorites I've ever had, favorite experiences I've ever had in Male Empowerment Networks. Mr. Perry, you're invited to Male Empowerment Networks. Now, you don't have to register. You just, for the men, I don't have any impediments. You don't have to register. We're not going to record a thing. Okay, no pictures, no recordings. It'll just be us in a transparent moment talking things out. So I'm looking forward to having you there, because men need men, and we need you and your energy as well. MaleEmpowermentNetworks.com. Just connect with the men and join the meeting. That's it.
Dr. Beverly says, I was reading something about fear, and it says, I'm paraphrasing, I've been through so many rough storms. The rain is just confirmation that I can do it again. I think fear comes to stop us from getting to the next level. Let faith answer, and I guarantee the fear will not be there.
I'm going to tell you, it's natural. Well, it's two things, okay? 2 points I want to make and give you guys some room to talk about it. It's been said and studied, and I've read these studies too, that we're only born with 2 fears. All the other fears we get, we learn to fear that, okay? But there's only 2 fears that we're born with. The fears that we're born with are the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling down. Those are the 2 fears that you're born with already. And every other fear, you had to learn that. Okay, you had to learn to be afraid of traffic crossing the street in the traffic. You had to learn to be afraid of that. But every other fear. Now, if you've learned it, you can also learn a new lesson. Okay, but we're born with the fear of loud noise and the fear of falling down. And then the other part of that is how our brain works. Our brain is always trying to protect us from something. Okay, that's why any new idea you ever have, your brain initial thought is going to be, don't do that, because it's trying to keep you right here, right where you're at. I want to start jogging, okay, whatever it is. I'm going to start jogging. Your brain's first response is, nah, we don't want to jog, okay? We don't want to, okay?
I had to put my brain in check over that.
Because your brain don't want you to do something?
Yeah, my brain did not. I kept on, good morning, Felicia. I kept on finding excuses not to not to continue with my exercise regimen.
Actually, I like where you put it. And I like the story behind it. Go ahead.
And some of you know that in our garage, we variably have a gym. Like we have a treadmill, a punching bag, a jumping thingamajiggy, a weight bench.
Trampoline, baby.
Yeah.
A jumping thingamajiggy. Wow.
A glider. And typically, at least for the first 6 months.
Got a weight bench and dumbbells, got all that stuff in there.
Yeah. And typically I was going into the garage and I was jogging on the treadmill for my exercise.
Just about daily.
Mm-hmm. But it started getting cold. And that easily became an
At least you don't like the cold at all.
No,
abnormal about that.
Not at all. I do not like the cold. So the glider is typically at the front of the garage, which is
where the door is. Yeah.
Where the door is. And that's the one machine that I liked, that I sort of enjoyed the most. Hey, Bill.
Bill, we talked about you this morning before the show, man.
And so yesterday I was like, you know what? Now, yesterday I took a very easy day. And I was kind of having some TV time, which I typically do not do. But I realized that as I was sitting there, I could be exercising if I had something to exercise on. And so I mustered up the energy and I went into the garage. I got the glider, and it was a bit cumbersome.
She didn't ask for any help at all. Mm-hmm. She just dragged it into the house.
Brought it into the house, and I positioned it in front of the television. And I told myself, if you want to watch TV, you have to watch it while you exercise. You're not just going to sit here and just sit here and watch the TV. And so actually working the glider while I was watching TV proved to be a lot more encouraging than I thought.
Because you didn't even realize how long you was doing it, just watching your shows, right? Mm-hmm. Let me catch up here. Crystal Blake says, that's very true, Dr. Beverly. It's partially complacency, comfort. And oh, Coach B, you just hit the nail on the head with it just now. Happy today from William Brown. Mr. George Allen says, cold is great for burning cells. Yeah, it's great for burning cells, Lisa. Mm-hmm. Today's topic is what you say is what you get. Okay. And we talked about how to say it, get it, and how to mean it by adding feeling to it. Yes, that's true. What you say. And William Brown, we talked about you this morning because of your books and your thoughts about that. You remember what you were saying about William Bill today?
We was talking about you.
We just talking about you.
No, actually, I was talking about the fact why it's so important to manage the voices that you listen to in your head.
Yes.
Why it's so important to realize that you can demote a voice in your head, meaning that you can decide that that's not a thought that you believe anymore. Coming back from William Brown's My Current Lie series. Mm-hmm. This is my current lie, right? I think that there was a lot of thoughts that needed to be deprogrammed to get to the powerful thought that is going to move you to where you desire to go. Dr. Beverly said, and you have to be very particular with the words that you say. Absolutely.
That's the other thing too. The fact that you say it, the words that you let escape from your lips. Now they're gonna be some negative stuff swirling around. Mm-hmm. But the way I used to say it, the words you let, that's why we say to our clients, you can't insult our clients. You can't say anything negative about our clients. You can't do it because words, we used to say words are spirits. Mm-hmm. And if you let that spirit escape your lips, it's going to swirl around your head and try to prove you right. So when you say stuff like, I can't do math, I'm always late, even little insults like that, I'm always late, I can't do math, those spirits to try to prove you right and conspire the whole world around you to impede your progress so that you are late. Okay, put you in math problems that no one could do. Okay, but it's just affirming that you can't do math. Okay, so that's why you can't let those spirits escape your lips. You got to replace those spirits. Instead of I can't do math, I'm getting better at math. I'm getting better at being on time. The worst thing you could say about yourself is that I'm getting better at that thing.
Mm-hmm. And I think it may be time for us to bring Mr. Freeman on again. I've actually been reading his book again.
J. Burt Freeman,
Yeah.
who's consistent positive direction language. That's his teaching, consistent positive direction language. And I would love to have him on here again, too. And I think you're right. It is time.
Dr. Deborah says, when it comes to our thoughts, even the words we don't say have power. Absolutely. The voices that are in our head, that's why it's so important to be mindful of what is in your head.
Okay, so how do we do that? It's 9:34 already. We don't want to just talk about the problems. We want to talk about how to fix these things, too.
Well, Dr. Beverly says, don't just say it.
That one
time. At least I'm going to use you right here. Write it down, make it plain, say it over and over again until it becomes who you are. That's right. And get reinforcements. If you need to have cards, if you need to review a book, if you need to do a bracelet, whatever you need to do to reinforce the words. Like I have all of around my room. I have a sign that says you can do this. I have everything happens for a reason. Sometimes good things fall apart so that better things can come together.
Marilyn Monroe. Now look, this picture here, I like it a lot. Okay. She has a really, really pretty framed quote. Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes good things fall apart so things can come together, by Marilyn Monroe. Sometimes good things fall apart so things can come together, by Marilyn Monroe. One of the reasons I really like this particular picture is the story behind it. Okay. We were leaving our complex when we lived over in the townhouse at the time, and this pretty picture and another one was at the dumpster. Somebody was throwing it away. They had it leaned up against the dumpster. They must have just not that long ago. They leaned it up there, getting rid of that thought out their house. And I said, Lisa, look. And she was right there in the passenger seat. Look. She goes, yes, we got to have it. So someone was throwing that away. It's so handsome. And what a beautiful thought. It was our treasure. One person's trash became a treasure for somebody else.
George Allen says, I'm a witness of intentional speech and results. Amen. I think that it is so important to realize that the power we have. Yes, Miss Felicia, she says, as a man thinketh, he becomes. Absolutely. Miss Phyllis says, I always say there's no such thing as can't. My kids hated that.
Yeah. I used to make my son do push-ups every time he said can't.
But I can't.
I did a story time with Paul B about the story about Bunker Bean, about the man who was tricked into believing in himself. You know, we did that story too. So it doesn't matter how it happens, but you can believe in yourself, even if you're tricked into it.
Amen. Belinda says, God is working on me. I'm so transparent. I say what I feel. I no longer wear a mask.
All your mask is off. I've heard her say that in a speech several times.
And I love it.
She says mask is sometimes.
But there's always power in that statement. It's almost like it couldn't have been said any other way. All my mask is off. Like I know she meant all my masks are off, but I mean the power in that delivery.
Because she meant that.
Absolutely. It was serious.
When Lisa and I was doing a lot of author showcases, we were doing a bunch of them. Belinda was someone, she probably did 10 with us or something like that, 8, 9, or 10 of them. But after the first time she spoke, I decided that I wanted her to speak either first or second every time. Why do I want her to speak first or second? Because I knew she wasn't going to pull any punches. She was going to be authentic to herself, and she was going to be real with it. And if she come out there first and bring her power and her authenticity, no matter how you took it, she was going to say it. That gave the whole room permission to be freer. Okay, because she's going to be free when she speak. So that's why I always put Belinda first, because I knew she ain't give a daggone if you accepted her word or not. She's going to give you her word the way she had it. So I appreciate you for that, Sister Belinda, for being real and who you are.
Now, Miss Phyllis said, I told my children and now my grands. I know that's right. As a man thinketh, so is he. And I think Miss Phyllis said, there is no such thing as can't. And that is something that we get to reinforce. Some of the things that I really miss are in the power of those speeches, those resuscitations that we got to say as children. You're very welcome, Belinda. That we get to put into our children, our grandchildren now.
Bruce Lee says, "What you leave in your children is way more than what you give them. The gifts you give them, they'll go away, but what you pour into them, that's more important." Okay, and then Bruce Lee said, "War." Sister Felicia said, the funny thing to show how words have power. I spoke up my ex, and he reached out to me, and the person I was talking to also spoke up a person. We just had a conversation, and both persons called us, and we both haven't heard from them in years. Yeah, you could definitely speak up a person. Matter of fact, you could speak today in front of any of your devices, and all of a sudden you'll get a bunch of stuff about that. Oh man, I gotta tell you, something bothered me right before the show today.
What happened?
Right before the show, my name is Brian K. McNeill, and I am a sales confidence coach. I teach people how to sell themselves and their services. I think my work is noble work. I think that God is uniquely gifted and qualified and prepared me to teach people how to sell. That's what I'm supposed to here. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I do for a livelihood, and I respect the profession and honor the skill set of selling. This man sent me a message on LinkedIn, just kind of upset me, and I know he wasn't trying to upset me. He says, Brian, do you know of anybody that has employees to introduce me to? I promise I won't sell them anything. What?
Oh, Lord.
I promise not to sell. As if that's a good thing. As if selling them is a bad thing. Do you have something that's going to help them? If you have something that's going to help them, why wouldn't you sell it if you have something that'll help them? This guy said to me, I promise not to sell them anything. Piss me off. Okay, because he's not showing honor to my profession. Okay. Hey, Lisa, do you have any friends that you can introduce me to? I promise I won't sell them what I do. I promise I won't sell. I promise I won't help them. Is what it sounds like to me.
Well, there are cases where I won't help people. I won't help them if they're not willing to be helped. I will not force my help on anyone.
I promise not to sell them. I should delete him.
Dr. Beverly says that word can't. I had a challenge in my house one time and told the children that if they can't,
I bet you I could. And if I can do it, they can do it. So they never said can't again, ever. And they are teaching their kids right now that can't doesn't exist. As long as they can breathe, it can be done. When speaking about if your mama could do it, the kids say they can't do it, and mom, if I can do it, you can do it. My job, I'm going back to Brooklyn again. Okay, we had hardwood floors in the place we lived in, and our apartment was the same apartment. I spent almost we lived in the same apartment. Okay, 466 Alabama Avenue, apartment 3B. Okay, that's where we lived, and my job was to sweep the floor. Okay, I had to sweep the floor. I used to complain, Mom, I sweep the floor so much, I'm getting calluses in my hands from where the broom is holding my hands because I felt like I was sweeping the floor all the time. Okay, that's what I felt I was doing. Okay, so one day she told me to sweep out the underneath the table where we eat and everything, and I swept it. And she's, Brian, you ain't do a good job with that. Sweep it again. That's the other thing too. We have to make them do it again if they don't do it right. I swept it again, and this time I got a little bit more dust than I did the first time. Just a little bit more in the dustpan. But I thought I did a good job. Boy, sweep that daggone floor. Mama, I swept the floor. There's nothing left there. I swept it. I swept it good. You saw me sweep it good. I saw you go over. You ain't sweep it good. Brian, sweep the damn floor. Mama, I'm probably 10, 11, 12 maybe. I know I did a good job. Okay, speaking of what Mama. So then Mom, she takes the broom from me and she sweeps the same floor that I swept. Filled up a daggone dustpan. Where did this dirt come from?
Shout it out, lounge coat pocket.
Where did that come from? And I got popped behind that too, because she had to come behind me. I was like, she was up in the corners pulling stuff out. I'm like, what the heck? That's the high school floor. I never forgot that though.
Well, I certainly hope that you take advantage of getting your own sales confidence coach consultation. I put the link on the screen. You can either call him or you can schedule it. I'm looking forward to working with some of the clients that I have scheduled for this week already. I'm excited about your progress. Got a couple of programs that are coming up, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's good success in that. If you think that I can help you with your business or with your book or helping you to share your wisdom in such a way that you can impact the world, reach out to me. You can.
Oh, before you leave that banner, thank you for putting that banner up there. First off, there's a banner that says my Calendly link. That's my scheduling calendar. Calendly.com/BK McNeill. And my phone number is there too. You might know of someone who offers a service, and maybe they're not happy with the results they're getting. With that scheduler, they can get a up to 30 minutes complimentary, free consultation with the sales confidence coach. I promise within 30 minutes, I will be able to teach them something that they're going to thank you for referring them. So I'm on a push right now. I want to do more free consultations. So for that person that you know of, please, 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 ma'am, please, sir, refer them to my scheduler and tell them to give it a try. Just give it a try. See if it works for you. It costs them nothing but time and courage. Dr. Deborah Dunstan.
She says, my grandmother asked me to tell God to bring her daddy back for a few minutes. In my explanation, I used the word can't. She quickly yelled, there's no such word as can't. Wow. I had to revise my answer to her about bringing her dad back for a few minutes to a statement that explained but did not include the word can't.
Wow.
That's got to be difficult. And I'm praying for your comfort and hers in that. Chef Rev says, it's George Allen. He says, it's amazing that most people won't realize the Most High have gave everything this power. It seems to shock them when they call forth and the universe responds. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. When they call forth and the universe responds. Come on, man. I love that wording that way too. Let there be light, and then there was. Okay. Think about all the stuff that you've ever really wanted in your life. You've gotten it. When you wanted a car, you eventually got it. When you wanted a place to live, you eventually got it. You wanted a refrigerator, you eventually got it. You know, the things that we speak and go for and believing we will have, you got it. Okay. You have that power. Bobby, is that baby
needs to get on Zoom for class. Everyone have a blessed day. We love you. We thank you. Go ahead, Minnie.
You talking about herself?
No, the baby. You know, that's the grandma right there.
Okay.
She got about like 50 children over there. That's Minnie right there.
Okay, grandma. Thank you for coming through. We appreciate your time.
We love you, Belinda. We'll talk soon.
You're on Zoom class. That's right. That's important. Boy, I tell you, that's a tough profession right now, teaching. We had a song for Boom before.
I do know the song.
You remember it? Mm-hmm. Okay. We're about to do our greeting songs and greeting logos. If this is your first time, bear with us. But some of you guys have been on here for years. Some of you guys are consistent contributors to the show. And we thank you for greeting songs and greeting logos. Up first is Miss Harriet Russell.
Boom, shakalaka, shakalaka, shakalaka.
He goes by Boom Harriet. That's right. Melissa Price has a jam too. I'm not ready yet. I promise you, but I didn't take that sip of water, I would have made it. But her jam is bam, 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 bam. Melissa's on. Now it's time for us to sing her song. Melissa's on. Good morning, Miss Melissa Price. You know what? I have a friend that teaches singing, and she told me I wouldn't have that problem if I took more air in to hit some of these notes. So maybe that's what I practice with Melissa. Take a big gulp of air in before I do that. Okay, Miss Phyllis.
I can't take a big gulp of air in. It'll make me yawn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big gulps, like I can't do that.
But if I do Melissa, if I take big air in before I do Melissa, I go.
Not in through your mouth, in through your nose.
What difference does it make? As long as it's filling up my lungs. Does it make a difference?
I think so.
Okay. Maybe someone who knows more than us can tell us about that. Miss Phyllis has a logo. Miss Phyllis is here. So clear the way. Miss Phyllis is here. Now we can all have a great day.
Good morning, Miss Phyllis.
Miss Couture has a jam too. Back to life. back to Katora Green.
However do you want it?
However do you need it?
Do you need it?
Good morning, Katura. Judith, you come through season to season. We got to find you a jam.
Absolutely, but thank you for
Dr.
attending.
Deborah Dustin has a song.
Dr. Deborah, nonprofit strategist and funding coach.
Someone like Dr. Deborah, Miss Phyllis, that have been coming here for years, Melissa Price. How many times do you think we've sang their song?
A lot of much time.
Belinda don't have a jam yet, but we got to find one for you. George Allen, aka Chef Rev, has a jam too, because he's also, not only is he a pastor and a minister and a cool guy, he's also has a professional catering company, and he's an amazing cook. We've had his food a few times, but his jam is, why must I eat like that? Why not hire Chef Rev?
He puts the good food in me.
Not. Good morning, sir.
Oh my goodness. Good morning.
Terry Walker's going to be Mr. McNeill unless you come with something else. Dr. Beverly has a jam too. And she has a logo actually and goes, Dr. Beverly is on the show. Good morning, Dr. Beverly.
Good morning. Hey, Crystal. Good morning. She's been very consistent. We're going to have to come up with
Crystal comes up on Tuesdays and Thursdays. She's here. She told me.
Awesome. Felicia, we love you.
You're the one for me. Good morning, Miss Felicia.
I can't wait to see you tonight, Felicia. Oh, I finally heard my birthday song. I had to go through like a million voicemail messages. Thank you so much for my birthday song. She has a beautiful voice. Yes. And I saved it so that I can listen to it again and again and again and again.
That's good. William Brown's here, and he has a jam too. Good morning to our friend Bill. Nobody thinks like him still. We love him so, and we always will. Our friend Bill. Our friend Bill. What's up, man? Scroll, baby.
Absolutely. Felicia said prayers are powerful, especially because we're talking to God, and with him all things are possible. Yeah. Absolutely.
This whole conversation today, these kinds of reminders have major value. Remind yourself to pray. Remind yourself to speak these life things into yourself. Yes. Did you get her song, Dr. Beverly's song, Lisa?
No. Was it on the voicemail also? I didn't get it.
Less and less people ever even check voicemail. My son, my oldest son, my firstborn son, his voicemail message is like this. Hello, this is Ladarius here. You reached my voicemail. I never check voicemail, so just don't leave one. Okay. Don't leave a voicemail. Really, don't.
Oh, so Dr. Beverly, I may have seen it on Facebook Messenger, but because there were so many issues with your account, I don't think I opened anything that came from you at that time.
And Dr. Beverly, right now, you and I are not connected on Facebook. You have to send me a Facebook friend request so that I can accept it. Send it to Brian Keith McNeill. All right, so that's our show for today. We come Monday through Friday with personal conversations,
business information,
and spiritual inspiration.
With a little bit of shenanigans.
That's what we come to do Monday through Friday. We'll be back tomorrow. Today, at 1 p.m., I'm doing the Sales Confidence Podcast. And today we're going to talk about selling you. Why it's important that you sell yourself before you sell your services. Sell yourself. And then tonight, Male Empowerment Networks and
Woman Empowerment Networks. Tonight at 7 o'clock, just go to maleempowermentnetworks.com or womanempowermentnetwork.com. And we will be there. If you missed either one of those, just send me an inbox or a text and I'll get you the link.
Until then,
don't forget to have sex.